Alam by Ajmal, the perfume that transforms the most. In this series, we have been looking at various perfumes and what happens to them from opening a new bottle till about 6 weeks of aging or evolution. Some also like to call this maceration. We have previously looked at two or three other perfumes. However, what happens or what has happened to Alam, it has completely changed its aroma profile for me over the last 6 weeks of usage, and I want to tell you all about it in this video. Now, this is a perfume I really like. I like it so much that along with this primary bottle, I have also got myself a secondary bottle. It's a perfume that gets very little love in India, and I think it deserves a lot more love. Both of these are November 2025 batches, so I can expect consistent performance across both the perfumes. Also, please don't tell my wife that I have two of these. She will throw them both out. Let me start by sharing what typically happens when you are waiting for your perfume to evolve or mature after you open it. What you will see is an opening that is rough, alcoholic, and sharp. And what you will see is over time, it settles or ages into something that is smooth, blended, and enjoyable. Alam, for some reason, seems to have a mind of its own. It seems to be on an exact opposite journey. When I went to the store, the tester that I tried in the store was a complete spice bomb. All I could smell was a mix of very spicy notes. It is like this. It's like a fuzz of things that are in the air. This is the best representation of that smell that I can come up with. But then I read up about this perfume. The written notes I liked more than what I smelled. It is a mistake that you must not make. I got lucky with this one. If you're not smelling what you're supposed to, or if you don't like what you're smelling, do not buy. One thing that I particularly liked was the name of this perfume. The word Alam means dream or vision, and this perfume fits its name very well. That is exactly how it feels to me. And that's the reason I've brought this pen out for this review, and I'm using a mysterious blue ink. This ink is by Waterman. It's a lovely mix of black and blue. Plus, this pen is a now discontinued pen called Waterman Charleston. Back to the perfume on the next page. So let's talk about the journey here. And as always, I will talk about here we've started with the store tester. We will then talk about the new bottle, then what I had from 2 to 4 weeks of this perfume, then around the 6 to 7 week mark. I have been using this perfume consistently over the last 6 weeks. This is the amount of usage it has gone through. And in the end, I will also leave you with some cautionary notes that might be important before you make a decision about this perfume. So, the store tester was very spicy. We've already discussed that. For this table, we're going to do the opening, which is the top notes, the heart or the mid notes, and then the dry down or the base notes. Let's just call it the base notes. And this effectively is a transition in time more than anything else. So, opening is what I smell for the first 0 to 30 minutes. Heart would be something that is smelled from 30 minutes to the next 60 minutes, so 30 to 90 minutes total, and then 90 plus minutes. This, of course, varies by perfume, by type, by the weather conditions, by where you're wearing it, whether you've put on your clothes or your skin. Endless variants. What you get might be very different. How you smell it might be very different. I'm just sharing my experience with this perfume. Before before we get on with the writing, I must give you a spray. It seems you cannot talk about perfumes without spraying them. So this is, shall I? Okay. I don't know why Ajmal perfumes tend to spit out the first spray. Okay. But smells very nice. Um you got a sense of the atomizer. The atomizer is better than it seemed. I think than it seems. I sprayed at an angle on these videos so it goes down and it looks like it's spitting the perfume out. But when you typically use it, you will have a much better spray. Sorry, I had to smell the perfume again. I hope I did not get any on this pen. Anyway, it's a good perfume. It is, if you want a simple one word answer, it is a good perfume. Go get it. But listen to the cautionary notes before you do. There will be a timestamp in the description or in the scroll bar. So, a new bottle opened slightly spicy for me, but these spices were very short lived. There was no real heart note as such, and there was an amazing, smooth, almost buttery, and I want to call it dreamy base note. It is, I don't know what it is, but it is just one of the smoothest smells that I have smelled till now. And I fell in love with this perfume. My bottle, the one that I opened. Now, it seems like a variant of Ambroxan, but I really don't know, and I'm not going to guess. As always, if you have to check the notes and accords, there are resources. There is the manufacturer's website where you can go and check what they want this perfume to smell like. Second, you can visit Fragrantica. I think there are a couple of others also. I usually use fragrantica.com. You go there, you will get to see the accords, which are the broad themes of what a perfume smells like, and you will see the notes, which are the specific uh, specific identifiable smells that the perfumer has tried to incorporate into the perfume. Anyway, this is getting too windy. Let's get back to this. Coming to the 2 to 4 week period, this is when the opposite effect happened. 2 to 4 weeks, typically you expect the perfume to settle down to become smoother. This one became spicier. So you have increased spices that start coming through, and the spices start lasting longer. So while earlier the spices were very short lived, what I got here was maybe up to around 15 minutes of the spice notes before the smoothness started settling in. The smoothness in the base notes just kept going up. It feels very, very luxurious. And I fell in love with this perfume even more. once it got to this stage. During this phase, the spices kept getting more persistent. So they were increasingly lasting longer, from 15 minutes up to 30 minutes by the time we reached week 4. It just started developing a very different character. And it started, in fact, getting closer to what I had smelt at the store when I was buying it. Coming to the 6 to 7 week period, which is where about the time where we are today, this is where it gets very interesting. Now, there are 3 words that I have banned from my videos. I told myself I will never say bomb, I will never say beast, I will never say monster. These are overused cliches in the fragrance world. I don't want to use them. But it is becoming a sort of a spice bomb here, and a very persistent spice bomb. So these spices, they stay for a good part of 30 minutes, at times even more. And they've gotten even sharper and even spicier. It opens like this, and now I can call it a heart where it's a mix of spice and smoothness. And this phase is now lasting for about an hour, from minute 30 to from 30-minute mark to roughly the 1.5 minute mark. You you have this very interesting mix where it is it is trying to get smooth, but you still have spices. So it's like this rounded smoothness, but with fuzzy spices that are just coming out of it. And these spices eventually settle down, and it goes back to the more conventional base, which is how it has been. However, this also stays slightly spiced. So the base is now like a spiced latte or spiced smoothness, which remains very, very enjoyable. This is not a summer scent or a summer fragrance. It is slightly on the heavier side. Cool evenings, you might want to use it, or indoor evening events, it'll be good. But for outdoors, this is not really something that is very light or summery. But of course, you can wear it when you want. It is your perfume and your choice. Um, as anyway, as this perfume continues to evolve, it continues to get sharper, almost to the point of being slightly astringent, but it's not gone bad. If something happens and it by week 8, 10, or 12, around the 3 month mark, if it gets unbearable, I will give you all an update and keep you posted on how this perfume has performed. Um, the buy, don't buy decision, let's just quickly get that done. What are the use cases for buying it? What are the use cases for not buying it? It's the beginning of the summer season, so don't buy it right now. Maybe use it in winters. But for evenings, you can use it. Um, if you want something that projects heavily, don't get this. This is not a perfume which will fill the room out, but you will get whiffs of it from yourself every now and then, which you will enjoy. The aroma profile is so pleasing. I have almost fallen in love with this perfume. It has decent sillage. If you walk past people, they might ask you what you're wearing. But again, you should not wear perfumes, in my opinion, for others, you should wear them for yourself. And this is one of the perfumes that I just absolutely love smelling on myself. So, for that reason, I will put it in. That is one of the buy criteria for this pencil. Uh, I'm sorry, I usually do pencils. For this perfume, that is the buy criteria. If you like perfumes for yourself and you enjoy using them, so then buy them and have a good time with this one. Now, coming to the cautionary notes. Um, let's just use this part of the page. First, it is addictive. You will want to keep applying this on yourself and use nothing else. But a bigger problem is, I think I'm slightly allergic to this one. And there's probably a broader allergen trend within the Ajmal ecosystem that I'll probably talk about in some other video. But I tend to get a runny nose and I tend to start sneezing at times after applying this perfume. And generally speaking, I get dry eyes. Um, it feels like there is something inside my eye that's irritating. That's another challenge I face. Third, it has 2.6% DEP. DEP is something that is being reduced in perfumes. It's a plasticizer or a fixative, I think. Um, this one you'll read it as diethyl phthalate. I really don't know the exact pronunciation, but it's about 2.6%, which is on the higher side. I have usually seen it around 1 to 2% in most of the perfumes. I don't know why this is so high, and if this is what causes the immediate short term effect, but it could have some long term effects also. So, ideally, use this on top of a moisturizer or on your clothes. Don't let it interact directly with your skin. Just avoid it. You don't necessarily have to not use the perfume, but avoid direct contact with your skin as much as possible. Um, Stop use if irritation occurs. Harmful if taken internally. That is every perfume standard disclosure. What is also interesting is this one is made in India. So we've looked at Kuro earlier. Kuro was a product of Dubai, if I'm not mistaken, or UAE. This Alam is made in India. It's a overall a wonderful perfume with these caveats and price. Ajmal's pricing is always hypothetical. I think they channel their inner Alam before they start printing prices on their boxes. I have not seen this sell at more than 1500 rupees or 15 US dollars in India. So don't buy this for 3000. This is perpetually on sale. And it is a good buy to add width or add breadth to your collection, which is very different from all the screamy, shouty, um, monster mode, beast mode perfumes that are generally coming out of the Middle East. This one is almost a breath of fresh air with its calm, understated UNDSTATED elegance And that, my friends, is why I love it and why I already have a second bottle for the time when I run out of this one. Thank you very much for your time, for your attention, for your patience. I hope you found this useful. Any suggestions, leave them in the comment section below. If you are interested in other such videos, I've done a few others. I'll be linking them in the playlist. You'll see them on the screen somewhere around here. Have a good day. Bye bye.